Now, the proposed nationwide protest set for August 1st being today has drawn attention and comments from different quarters. This is because we hear economic analysts warning that the protest could lead to significant financial and job losses for the country, emphasizing that such disruptions could impact key sectors including trade, manufacturing, and transportation, leading to widespread chaos and further aggravating the economic situation. And now, to analyze the economic implications of violent protest and its impact on businesses is a public affairs analyst. He's not a person, but our own Jide Ojo. You're welcome to Business Express.
It's my pleasure. Good morning. Happy New Month, Nigerians.
Great. Happy New Month to you too. Now, we've heard appeals from across the country as relates to the planned protest sometime today or from this morning, whichever way it might happen or it might not happen. Now, how did we get here? A lot of conversations out there is centered on, okay, it's about the removal of fuel subsidy. Okay, some say it's a proper thing that it's been removed, but how it was removed or the impact is what is the issue. Was that inevitable? What's your perception in all of this? How did we get here?
Yeah, what you just said it was a prelude, was a curtain raiser to what we are witnessing today across the country. You know, historically, the people have limited tolerance for suffering. I recall Fela Anikulapo of blessed memory, in one of his classics, talked about suffering and smiling. But people are no longer interested in suffering and smiling. I mean, it's only people of limitless wealth that will say they are enjoying the economic situation that Nigeria currently is going through. Yes, the administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the new president, is not the one that has battered this. He inherited it, no doubt. But the expectations were so high after the inauguration of the president, the 16th president of Nigeria last year, that, you know, we are going to see a positive downturn, more so with the renewed hope campaign. But I think the issue of subsidy removal, coupled with the collapse of the exchange rate or the unification of the exchange rate, which saw to the spiral downfall of the depreciation of the currency, Naira, are the twin problems that I will take as the remote causes of what currently Nigeria are protesting about. Because when you look at what was the exchange rate, I've done a number of articles in my column in the Punch newspaper about some of these economic policies. If you look at the exchange rate before the administration of Tinubu took over, and the Human Development Index, Ministry Development Index, and other developmental indexes, you will find out that we are moving from south to south-south. You know, the poverty is worsening. As of 2 years ago, the National Bureau of Statistics said we have 133 multidimensionally poor Nigerians. Some experts have put unemployment at about 40%. Then you look at the rate of suffering. So the point is the depreciation in Naira, to the extent that we now, as of December 2023, we were exchanging a dollar for 1,900 plus. That was the height of it. Because no matter your take-home pay, you go to the market, food inflation as of today is over 40%. Headline inflation is over 30%. And rising cost of living, definitely anywhere in the world, would lead to protest. Whether you are talking of US or France or Germany or African countries, I mean, that is the natural sequence. Nobody wants to suffer forever. So I think that the subsidy removal, okay, as at the time Tinubu administration took over, we were, the price of PMS in Abuja was about 180 naira to 200 naira. That's if there is a bit of scarcity. You buy at 170, 180, maybe 200. But today, let me shock you. As I was coming to this studio, I bought a 10-liter for 9,500. 9,500. That is today. Of course, there are no fuel stations selling, so I have to resort to the black market. So when you look at the devaluation of the currency, the rising cost of living, the arising from subsidy removal, it serves as the basis upon which, the people are now showing their dissent.
And now saying we should not be suffering and smiling.
Of
now,
course.
I want to make a reference to one of your articles talking about opacity in governance. Do we still have that? Does that still subsist? I'm asking this because, yes, these challenges you've mentioned as reasons why Nigerians are saying we are not going to be smiling amid these challenges, knowing quite well that these issues are global issues. Yes, some have said Nigeria could have handled it better, or Nigeria is not handling it better, or the citizens are not patient enough to ensure that the fruits of some of these reforms come to bear. Yes, some of these reforms are supposed to have come before now. Some saying this is the wrong time, some are saying this is the right time, but as much as they have to happen, what should government be doing to ensure that Nigerians are patient to seeing the fruition of some of these reforms?
You know, I will start from an unusual recommendation. First is for the political elite to be sober and turn down their lifestyle. Let's see them make the needed sacrifice. You cannot in one breath ask for people to be patient with you, to understand with you, and we see how much you are using to build Vice President's Lodge. We are seeing how much you are voting to buy, Navy voted to buy presidential yacht last year. We are talking of having discussions around buying 2 new presidential jets this year. We knew how much the National Assembly spent to buy operational vehicle. It's over 40 billion naira. When you look at all of this, and the jamboree of some of the international meets the president has gone to attend, from the United Nations General Assembly to the one he went in December to UAE in Dubai, when you see the kind of entourage, I mean, it does not show a country that is going through economic turmoil.
But
and that's why I am of the considered view.
But you also agree with me that the president is living exemplary lifestyle by not just making an appeal, but a directive to cut down some of those travels, talking about the number of entourage you've made, and also gone further to say we should patronize what we produce in country, talking about local content, to say it's not just about the National Assembly, but also MDS, to patronize made in Nigeria vehicles as it were against previous practice. Isn't that commendable at this time?
So it's commendable, but I wish the National Assembly had bought their operational vehicle from a local assembly plant or a local manufacturer, so that the money stays in Nigeria. Look at the whole argument why Nigerians are rallying behind Dangote refinery. Why do you think people are showing empathy towards Dangote? It's because it's our own brand. He is invested so much. I mean, forget not just the 20 billion around Dangote refinery. Look at his other investment in cement, in sugar, in salt, in pasta. So this is truly Nigerian brand, and we want to see Nigerian leadership lead by example. Yes, the president has given some directives, but how much of implementation has that seen? Okay, we are talking of reducing the cost of governance. How much of the reductions have we seen? We have seen a situation where the president had the highest number of ministers, 48 as we speak, but he just established Minister of Livestock Development. We don't know whether he's going to appoint 1 or 2 ministers. He just signed into law National Northwest Development Commission and Southeast Development Commission. Now, in one breath, you want to reduce the number of MDAs. You talk about, as at now, we have about 1,300 MDAs, including our foreign missions, which are largely underfunded. Now we are building and establishing new bureaucracies. I think it's just not adding up. If you want to reduce
so
cost of government,
are you saying the implementation of the Orosaya committee, it's not been done the way
the president gave 12 weeks for the implementation. It's the 6th month we are now. It's the 6th month that this thing has not seen the light of the day.
So it's about implementation, effective implementation.
Effective implementation, and even the body language of the president. The president needs to substantially cut down. I mean, let's see the sacrifice. I saw what the National Assembly is trying to do. The member of House of Reps decided that they were going to forfeit 50% of their salaries for the next 6 months, saying that they earn 600,000, so 300,000 will be deducted from their salary for the next 6 months to help in cushioning the excruciating pains Nigerians are going through. But beyond what I've said, the government is also on the right trajectory with the support funds for the MSMEs, which is over 100 billion, which is being done by the Ministry of Trade and Investment. I learned there is another 10 billion or thereabout with the Ministry of Youth Development. Then there is, other initiatives.
Interventions.
Aside other, I mean, in the last 3 weeks, I wrote about the commendable action of Mr. President in the 1 trillion naira economic relief packages that he recently released, which, if followed through, will substantially reduce the economic hardship that average Nigerians are witnessing. So that's where I agree with those who are in government to say, let's allow for the full gestation. Like the CNG buses, the president is giving every state government 10 billion naira to procure these compressed natural gas buses. If we see that on our roads, the cost of transportation will reduce. And there are some housing estates that are being built. If we can have it at cheap price, that will also resolve some shelter challenge of many citizens. The president just signed into law the National Minimum Wage Bill, which means from this month of August, civil servants, particularly those of you in the federal civil service, should be having something on top of your last salary. So these are a commendable feats, but there is need to demonstrate more sacrifices on part of, and I'm not talking particularly about Mr. President, not just him, but his ministers, his aides, the governors, the local government chairpersons, the people in the position of authority. We want to see them living an austere life so that when they are telling us to wait, to endure, we see that they are also enduring with us. Not that they are living large and asking you and I, ordinary citizens, to continue to make sacrifice. There is a limit to human endurance.
Okay, while they call, sorry to hold your thought at this point, while the call for more patience is ongoing, can we look at in counting the cost of possible losses of investment, infrastructure damage, business disruptions, loss of livelihoods, human rights abuses, social unrest, amongst many, which are almost always characterized by violent protests? What is the way out? What is your call to Nigerians at this point, just before we let you go?
I appeal to my compatriots to please tone down and let's do this protest in peace. It's not only marching on the streets that you can protest. You can write letter to the editor, you can write opinion articles, you can phone in on live radio or television programs to hear your dissent, to hear your grouses. I mean, organizations like Socio-Economic Rights Accountability Project, SERAP, have chosen the path of, what is called public interest litigation. It's also part of protest against certain policies and programs of government. So it's not until when we have roused, when we have engaged in some rabble-rousing that we are protesting. Protests can take different shades and form. In fact, including civil disobedience, sit at home, and all of that. But for those who choose the path of coming out to protest, for instance, in Abuja, there is a federal court ex parte order that have confined the protesters to the National Stadium. That's Moshood Abiola Stadium. I hope they will take to that, they will obey that decision and go to that place and, do whatever protest they want to do in order not to, cause traffic, in order not to cause situation where miscreants and hoodlums can cash in to unleash mayhem, to start looting, and which might warrant the retaliation from the security agencies to shoot live ammunition. So I appeal that for those who want to protest, let them have a defined spot, stay there. I mean, for the length of period that we have bring back our guest protesters that were doing it at the Unity Fountain, nobody disturbed them. And there have been other protests that has taken place, including early this year when the Nigerian labor unions protested certain policies of government. So we want a peaceful protest. Nobody should engage in violence or riot. That is the fear in government circles, and it's a genuine fear because NSAS is just a recent history for us, and we should not copy from what has happened in Kenya. Kenya is not Nigeria. We cannot afford. In fact, already there is a huge economic loss because many businesses were shut down this morning. People are very cagey. The rules are like there is a public holiday. So many businesses. So
already businesses are counting
their losses.
Thank you very much.
Let's remain peaceful, even if we are going to protest.
Thank you for that appeal at this time, and thank you very much for your insights on the way to go. Thank you, Jide Ojo, for your contribution.
My pleasure. Always a pleasure. Thanks for the invite.
Moving on, it's Global Update. Well, at this point, we wrap up Business Express. Business Express returns tomorrow for another fresh edition.